Have you ever wondered if a mother's love has limits? And what if that love, instead of nourishing you, is slowly suffocating your essence? Today, we're diving into a delicate yet crucial topic: the signs that it's time to distance yourself from a toxic mother. Picture this. You're in a dark room, curtains drawn, the air feels heavy. Each time you try to open a window to let in some light, a familiar voice yells, "Close that! It's too bright." That voice, which should bring comfort, has become a prison. This scenario might seem extreme, but for many, it's the daily reality of living with a toxic mother. In this video, we're going to explore the subtle and glaring signs that your relationship with your mother might be harming your well-being. We'll unpack the psychological mechanisms behind these behaviors and, more importantly, discuss strategies to help you regain your autonomy and mental health. If you've ever felt guilty for wanting distance, doubted your own perceptions, or feel like you're living the life your mother chose for you rather than your own, this video is for you. Get ready for a journey of self-discovery and perhaps the first step toward your emotional freedom. From a young age, we're bombarded with the idea that a mother's love is sacred, unconditional, and infallible. Books, movies, and society at large reinforce this narrative. But what if that love comes with conditions? What if that love, instead of lifting us up, keeps us trapped in a cycle of emotional dependence and self-sabotage? The uncomfortable truth is that not all mothers are capable of providing the love and support their children need. Some, due to their own unresolved wounds or personality disorders, perpetuate cycles of emotional abuse that can span generations. Recognizing this is not easy. Guilt, shame, and fear of social judgment often blind us to the reality of our situation. But remember, recognizing it doesn't mean condemning. It's the first step toward healing. Abuse isn't always obvious. Often it hides behind seemingly innocent words or actions that, on their own, might seem harmless. Let's explore some of these signs. Emotional manipulation. If you really loved me, you'd do this for me. This is a classic example of emotional blackmail. A toxic mother often uses love as currency, conditioning her affection on her child's obedience. Invalidation of feelings. Stop being so dramatic, it's not that serious. When your emotions are constantly dismissed or ridiculed, it can create a deep disconnection from your own feelings. Constant comparisons. Why can't you be more like your brother, cousin, neighbor? Frequent comparisons chip away at your self-esteem and create a perpetual sense of inadequacy. Excessive control. A toxic mother might try to control every aspect of her child's life, from their friendships to career choices, all under the guise of protection. Guilt as a tool. After everything I've done for you. Guilt is a powerful weapon in the toxic mother's arsenal, used to keep the child in a constant state of emotional debt. Growing up in a toxic environment can have long-lasting effects on a person's mental and emotional health. Some long-term consequences include low self-esteem and self-sabotage, difficulty establishing healthy boundaries in relationships, a tendency to constantly seek external validation, chronic anxiety and depression, difficulty making decisions and trusting your own judgment. It's crucial to understand that these patterns, while deeply ingrained, are not your fault, and more importantly, they can be unlearned and healed over time with the right work and support. Deciding to distance yourself from a toxic mother is without a doubt one of the hardest decisions a person can face. The guilt can be overwhelming. You might feel like a terrible daughter or an ungrateful son. These feelings are normal and to be expected. It's important to remember that distancing doesn't have to be permanent or complete. Sometimes, setting clear boundaries and reducing contact can be enough to start regaining your mental health. The goal isn't to punish your mother, but to protect your emotional well-being. Self-reflection. Before making any drastic decisions, it's crucial to take an honest look at the situation. Keep a journal and note specific incidents that make you feel bad. This will help clarify your thoughts and feelings. Seek support. Don't try to handle this on your own. Reach out to trusted friends, support groups, or ideally, a therapist specializing in toxic family dynamics. Having a support system is essential in this process. Set clear boundaries. Start by setting small boundaries. This could include not answering every phone call, limiting the time you spend with your mother, or refusing to discuss certain topics. Practice emotional detachment. Learn mindfulness and meditation techniques to help create healthy emotional distance. This doesn't mean not caring, but rather not letting toxic behaviors affect you as deeply. Prepare for resistance. When you start setting boundaries, it's common for the toxic person to escalate their negative behavior. Be prepared and stand firm. Take care of yourself. Prioritize self-care. This includes caring for your physical, mental, and emotional health. Remember, you can't give what you don't have. Distancing yourself is only the beginning of the journey. True healing comes with time and inner work. Some important steps in this journey include reparenting. This is the process of recreating a healthy childhood for your inner self. It involves learning to comfort, encourage, and love yourself in the way your mother should have. Working on forgiveness. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting or allowing more abuse. It's a process for you, not the other person. Forgiveness frees you from the weight of resentment. Rebuilding your identity. Often, children of toxic mothers grow up without a clear sense of who they are. Explore your interests, passions, and values separate from your mother's influence. Creating new narratives. Rewrite the negative stories you've internalized about yourself. Replace "I'll never be good enough" with "I am enough just as I am." Building healthy relationships. As you heal your wounds, you'll learn to recognize and cultivate healthy, nurturing relationships. One of the hardest parts of distancing yourself from a toxic mother is dealing with society's judgment. Our culture puts mothers on a pedestal, and many people don't understand the complexity of these situations. Prepare to hear things like, "But she's your mother," or "Family is forever." Remember, these people often speak from a place of ignorance about your specific situation. You owe no one an explanation for your self-care decisions. Develop short, assertive responses for these situations. Something like, "I appreciate your concern, but this is a personal decision I've made for my well-being," can be helpful. It's natural to wonder if reconciliation is possible. The short answer is, it depends. If your mother is willing to acknowledge her toxic behaviors, seek professional help, and make real changes, then yes, reconciliation might be possible. However, it's crucial not to base your healing on the hope of the other person changing. Your focus should be on your own growth and well-being, regardless of your mother's actions. If reconciliation happens, it should be on your terms, with clear boundaries in place. Remember, you have the right to protect your mental and emotional peace. One of the most powerful outcomes of breaking the cycle of toxicity is the opportunity to create a new legacy. If you have or plan to have children, you have the chance to offer the love, support, and emotional nourishment you didn't receive. Even if you don't have children, you can be that example of healthy love in other relationships, with nieces, nephews, friends, or in your community. By healing yourself, you become a beacon of hope for others going through similar situations. As we come to the end of this video, I want you to remember one fundamental truth. You have a choice. No matter how difficult your current situation may be, you have the power to choose a different path. Distancing yourself from a toxic mother isn't an easy decision, nor one to be taken lightly. It's a journey filled with challenges, doubts, and sometimes setbacks. But it's also a journey of self-discovery, healing, and ultimately liberation. Remember, you deserve unconditional love. You deserve respect. You deserve to live your life on your own terms. And if that means creating distance from someone who should have been your biggest supporter, know that this doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you brave, someone who chose themselves. I encourage you to reflect on what we've discussed today. If you identified with some of the signs mentioned, consider seeking professional help. Remember, taking the first step toward healing is an act of courage and self-love. And for those of you already on this journey, know that you're not alone. There's an entire community of people who understand your struggle and are rooting for your success. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, please share it with someone you think could benefit from this information. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content on mental health and personal growth. Remember, your story doesn't end with the chapter your mother wrote. You have the power to take the pen and write the rest on your own. See you next time.